Just to reiterate, winners do become industry leaders. It really sets yourself apart from your competitors, and this is at a state or a regional level, but also through to the nationals if you're lucky enough to take through a win there. Even just going through to the nationals, you do actually get recognised quite well, and obviously you're being profiled up against the best in the country, so a real achievement to be able to get a win at a state level, but even go through to the nationals regardless of whether you win or not. We do believe that the awards program opens up new doors for obviously networks within industry, but also it gives you a great, I guess, power to approach media and I guess showcase your product with, you know, with a voice that you may not have had in the past. We see that the winners are high achievers, the best of the best, and we generally find that winners get a lot more support from obviously industry bodies, your local tourism associations, or even government using you as, you know, test case, yeah, showcase. So it's a really a good way to be profiled. What was that? Oh. Yeah. No, we'll leave this one on for a little while. Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm not going to go through each individual category, but as you can see, there is 32 categories, and today I've brought each category with me. So for some of you that may just want to be, you know, determining which category you fit into, we can actually have a chat in the break to try and work that out for you. But again, we've got 32 categories. The first 26 are the 26 that go through to the nationals. The remaining 6 actually are just state-based, so please bear that in mind, that if you do want to go through and be judged at a national level, it's the first 26.
Can I just add?
Certainly.
That even though they don't get judged at the national level, there will be a section of recognition at the national level. We've been arguing strongly for backpackers to still be judged at the national level, and it seems to be Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria want it, but the other states which don't have as many backpack products feel it's not as competitive, and if you don't have more than 15 entries, the National Tourism Alliance will not consider it at the national level. But we want to prove them wrong this year and get all 15 entries, but I can assure you even this year they'll be acknowledged that they won't be judged. So Mike's absolutely correct in saying it doesn't get judged, but there will be some.
Yeah.
Same with the training category, education and training.
Yep. I will go through the changes later. One important point to note this year is that we've got one new additional category which will go through to the nationals, and that's the self-contained accommodation category number 20. So if you know anyone that might fit that, that's a new category.
Yeah, because before hosted, no one probably hosted would be the smaller accommodations that have been entering. So yeah, you may choose now if it's the self-contained offering, not a bed and breakfast, that you may not be into that.
So now is the time to get ready. So if you're feeling inspired to enter the awards, now is the time. We generally ask that, you know, if you do want to participate in the awards, not to leave it for, you know, a month or so. Most of the winners will tell you that they pretty much started as soon as they've heard about the awards, whether it just be compiling information, getting things in order to be able to assist you to answer your questions. A good way of doing that is generally getting 5 folders, because the submissions are sectioned into 5 different areas, which we'll go through later, but you can start throwing in support materials that will help you answer questions. It's just a great way to sort of have the information at your fingertips when you come to actually write the submission. A good thing that I ask or recommend that most people do before they commence their submission is to read through the rules of entry. The rules of entry really, I guess, set the scene as far as what are the limitations and the expectations, and it gives you an understanding of what will be involved in participating in the event, in the awards program. Obviously, go through the categories and find the best fit for you. Think about past entrants that might have entered those categories, so you can see who your competition may be again. And if you fall into several categories, work out whether it's 1 or 2 submissions that you put in, and look for I guess, your best winning chance in each category. So once you've done that, it's great, or it's a good opportunity to print out the questions and review the questions and look at the questions that you find are probably the most difficult, and we say start with those first, because what happens is we find that a lot of entrants start with the questions that they feel most comfortable with, and times expire and something will happen, and then, you know, it's only 3 weeks until the submission is due, and then they're left with the most challenging. So look at the harder ones and start trying to dig up some information that will support those questions early on. A way to help you with your submission is to actually get a team together. Find some people that know your business well, whether it's internally, if you're a bigger organisation, or if you're just a small operation. Think about people that are nearby. It could be friends, or it could be other people within the industry, to be able to give you the information to support your submission. Whether it be hosting a morning or afternoon tea and getting them together and saying, what do you know about our business in relation to our customer service or our marketing? Generally, people that operate business are so close to it, they forget a lot about how they operate, whereas somebody external to your business sees you in a different light. So it's a great way to be able to get that information. And we say that testimonials are really great in the submission. So, you know, by hosting morning tea, you can actually get a couple of testimonials as well, which might support areas of your submission.
Yeah, and from my experience as well, I totally support that point. I think Cam made the point, you're from operations and not marketing, and I think that's a common mistake. It's seen as a marketing role, but in fact it's a whole of business response, and you really need to be successful. You really need the input from everyone across the business to be successful.
Yeah, and I think by having that collective conversation earlier on, actually really, you get a lot of the answers straight away. So, you know, it's not left on your shoulders to think of the answers all by yourself. Before you know it, you've already got your submission, sort of the content already just to be written up. So it's a good way. Part of the process of writing an award submission is to reflect on your business plan. So if you don't have a business plan or a marketing plan, which the submission asks about, now's the time to pull something together. Don't feel daunted if you don't, and don't feel daunted that your business plan may differ from another organisation. Every business operates differently. Every business has a business plan which is different in length and style. If it's something you don't have in place now, it might be a 2 or 3 pager that you pull together before the end of the financial year. It really just demonstrates that you do have the thinking about how your business operates, and you have the objectives and the goals and the strategies to you know, operate in a favourable outcome. Part of the site visit, we're actually asked to look at those business plans or any policies and procedures that you talk about in your submission. So by saying that you've got one, the judge generally will ask just to see it. They won't sit down and read it word for word, but they generally would like to see it on site.
They do look to make sure there's stuff written on the pages.
Yeah. Or the folder that says business plan on it actually has a document in it, which apparently there has been a case in the past where the judge has pulled out the folder that said business plan, there's been nothing in it. So, and when you go through... Andrew's going to talk about that a bit later, but you know, be prepared at that site visit. Have those things sort of laid out just to show that, you know, you're willing to share that information. And finally, keep in touch with your local regional tourism boards or your local tourism associations, or other people that know your business well, because you'll be able to lean on them for facts and figures or testimonials. You know, you ask a lot of information, and you know, when we're running businesses or working very busy work schedules, it's hard to remember everything. So lean on them, particularly if you know you want to back up some answers with statistics. Generally, your local tourism association or regional tourism board has those statistics on hand. So certainly utilise those avenues of support. So the key dates for you guys to remember is really, we're at the point where in March and April we're running the regional workshops, around 15 across the state, but we actually opened up nominations to enter back in late February at our program launch. And you can nominate at victoriantourismawards.com.au, which I'm going to show you how to do that in a few minutes. But we're about to also launch the mentor program in the coming weeks for past entrants, and Natalie will be certainly on hand for any new entrants. Nominations will close on 30th of June. Now, nomination is really just registering your intent to enter. If you decide that it's not for you this year, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cost anything to enter the awards, except for your time and resources. So we just like to have your nomination mainly so we can be sure that we've got enough judges on hand to check that the category that you've entered is probably the best fit for you. And obviously it's a two-way. We actually are there to be able to assist you in the coming months, but also assist us in managing the judging process. So the business category submissions are due on Monday the 24th of August at 4 p.m. We do that on a Monday mainly because we find that most entrants want one more weekend. So that's your one more weekend. And 4 p.m. in case there's any, I guess, real issues with uploading your PDF submission. The judging commences pretty much straight away, and it's a 4-week period, and the judging process is judges read obviously the submissions but undertake the site visits during that 4-week period. I will note that there is some school holidays in there, so when your judge rings you to arrange your site visit, try and assign a time that fits best with you so it doesn't impact on your own business. The individual category submissions are a couple of weeks later, the 14th of September. And finally, the night of nights, the gala ceremony is going to be on the 16th of November at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, which I mentioned earlier. So pop that in your diary. And just to tell you again that Melbourne will play host to the Nationals in 2016, which we're really excited about. So what I'll do now is walk you through how to nominate, which is registering your interest to enter. This is the look and feel of the existing Tourism Awards website. There is a range of support on there and useful information. However, it is a bit of a rabbit's warren at the moment, so which is why we're under developing a new website. But to nominate, you need to actually go to the How to Enter tab on the left-hand side, and when you get to that tab, you'll be presented with this content, and right in the middle of that content is the link that takes you through to what's called the e-awards portal. The e-awards portal is the online entry point for people to upload their submission, and that e-awards portal is managed at a national level. So when your submission goes onto that portal, our judges read your submissions online. And if you win at a state level and go through to the nationals, the national judging panel will access your submissions through this e-awards portal as well. So that's why it's that process. Once you enter that link, you'll be provided with just some general information, which I think you've pretty much got in your packs today. And you just read the terms and conditions, and if you're okay, you just proceed to nominate at the bottom there on that blue tab. There's 2 steps to nominating. Sorry that the resolution's not that clear, but the first part is obviously just actually create a user login and password so that you can come back in at any stage to change any information, but this is what you will need to actually get into to be able to receive judges' feedback after the judging or after the ceremony, but also it's where you upload your submission as well. So you create your username and password just like any other online registration, and once you've done that and logged in, this is the type of screen that you will get. You can download a range of information there which, like I said, you've already got in your packs today, but you simply just press the nominate button down here. And if you're going to nominate for a number of categories, they will basically be listed down here once you've actually made that nomination. You do need to nominate individually for multiple categories, so you can't, in one nomination, nominate for 2 categories at once or 3 categories. So the first step is really just providing some contact information. The contact information can all be one person or 4 individual persons. The first person that we ask you to provide details of is your CEO or managing director who owns the business. The second is the person that, if you are lucky enough to take home a win, who would be that person that would collect the award up on stage at the gala ceremony. We ask for a media contact, mainly because after entrants win, there's the potential to be able to link you up with media to obviously get that exposure out there for you. And the fourth is around the site visit. We like to have a contact for the judge to be able to arrange the time to visit, but also be guided through the site visit process. So they're the contacts that we require information for. They can all be the same person, or they can be 4 individual people. And you can change that, after you've nominated, if somebody leaves or you'd like to nominate somebody different. So the second step is actually just telling us which category you'd like to enter and telling us what it is that you're going to enter, whether it's the business or a product within the business. It's really important to specify whether it is a product or actually the business, because on occasions people put the business name down and it's actually a product within the business that they're actually nominating. An example could be, for example, a winery, maybe wanting to enter the restaurant within the winery. So it's really focusing on the restaurant product rather than actually the winery as a whole. So just be clear about what it is that you're going to be nominating.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In which part of that form? In the 100 words or the...
No, the first part, so it's asking you for the name of the business or product, so you just type that in there. So you would say, I don't know, blah, blah, restaurant. You've already given us your business details and contact details in the previous, so we know who you are and what the business name is. And then the next part is the category. So there's a drop-down menu and all the categories will be listed. You click on the category there and then tell us which tourism region. We ask for a 100-word description, a business profile. This is mainly, I guess, to give judges at a state, but also at a national level, a snapshot of what your business is about, who you are. It just helps them, I guess, understand, really quickly about who's making a submission. But it also helps for the gala ceremony and also to assist media if they want a quick blurb about the business or if we want to make an announcement on your behalf at the gala ceremony. It just is really sharp information about who you are. Now, this business profile section can be completed now or later. In addition, we ask for some support images. Obviously, we want to be able to showcase a vision of who you are. So we ask for 10 electronic images to be uploaded, 5 generally portrait or 5 landscape. If you don't have that combination, just the best images that you can submit. And depending on what category you nominate in, there will be some just general other information that they'll ask you. For example, if it's an accommodation property, it might ask you how many how many rooms do you offer, or how many properties do you offer. So it is just really basic information that you would have off the top of your head. We encourage you to do that straight away, because the last thing you want to do when you put your submission is to have to deal with these little trivial matters. So please don't leave that to the last minute.
I was just going to say, for the first time entrants, because I did ask this question at another workshop to make sure you can go back and edit this now.
Yes.
Yeah. So for first time entrants, often you'll find once you start to work through your submission, what you wrote initially as your 100 words, you may have finessed a little bit further and you may want to go back and change it. But it's nice saying get it in there now, but you can go back and edit it before final submission.
the product or description could be different from the business name. For example, if at Puffing Billy you chose to enter the Great Race and in the events category or something, you would put that as the name of the entry, but Puffing Billy is the business, and you wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to profile the business name as well as the initiative. For example, Mornington Peninsula Tourism entered Wine Farm Gate, but you know, look, I mean, I would probably say Wine Farm Gate by Mornington Peninsula Tourism to make sure you get the greatest profile for your organisation. But just remember that some people put that in differently, but it's up to you. It's up to you. But you want to get best profile for the name of the business, I would think.
And in your pack, so there's a sheet there called important information. So I've just given you a snapshot if you were to enter one of the accommodation categories of the general information that might be asked of you. So it does differ per category, but there's an example in there just to show you that of what information that will be asked.
Yeah, and as Mike said, that it's used on the gala night. So what do you want them to say over the microphone when you go and collect your reward? That's what you're going to write there.
Yeah, I guess if anyone's got a LinkedIn profile, you have that blurb in your LinkedIn profile. It's kind of that selling factor, so consider that.
Can I just ask a question on that? So you say it was cuisine wine, so you say that we were cooking school. Would it confuse it too much if we said cuisine wine and our table cooking school? We're entering wineries, distilleries, breweries, sort of.
Well, I would encourage you to use exactly how you described it then, because it puts Bazzini up there, but the entry, if it is the cooking school...
But I'm entering for the cellar door.
Well, see, I'd probably just say Bazzini wines.
You could put it in your 100-word bio where you talk about Bazzini wines and then you might mention a few of the features, includes the cooking school.
It's a value add for the winery.
But the cooking school would be good for food tourism, clearly.
So that's the nomination process. Once you've completed that, you just simply press submit and it will take you back to that screen where I showed you, which would have your nomination listed. If there was another category that you wanted to nominate for, you just go through the same process.